What is the quickest, easiest way to compress an MP3 file? I would like to compress an MP3 file, and I see a lot of references when searching Google, but it seems like by now someone must have found something easy and that is guaranteed to work. Compressing an MP3 file into a zip archive doesn't compress the file enough, but I'm also concerned about too much loss of audio quality. What is the experience with this?
As MP3 files are already compressed, in much the same way that JPEG images are compressed, simply adding it to a zip archive won't compress it any further as there is no redundant data to remove. To reduce the size of an MP3 file, you'll have to re-encode it at a lower bit rate using something like MediaMonkey. This will result in a loss of quality. It would take the bitrate too low. MediaMonkey supports filtering and batch operations, so you can select the files you want to re-encode and perform the operation in one go. This will also preserve any tagging you might have on the file. However, re-encoding an already lossy file will result in worse artifacts than you'd get by going back to the original source and encoding that at lower bit rate. You can demonstrate this effect by taking a JPEG file and resave it several times, reducing the quality each time. Another thing to check is to ensure that any cover images are stored outside the MP3 file. Otherwise, for an album of 12 tracks, you'll have 12 copies of the same image.
Use LAME from the command line. Executable can be found here. There's also a tutorial on the command line options. Choose whatever settings you like best to reduce the size of your file. Try using VBR, variable bitrate, and a bitrate of about 128 kbps. It should be more than enough to keep the audio quality to within normal limits. Listen to the MP3 and determine if it's okay. Just try going as low as you can while still maintaining at least some audio quality. Use 64 kbps and check the output. The sound volume of the MP3s will get lower and lower and you'll lose most of the richness of the sound. Here's an example of how to use it. This will encode it to 64 kbps, variable bitrate.
The archivers with the highest compression ratio would be KGB, which has been used to compress a 430 MB MS Office ISO image to fit on a floppy disk, and UHARC, a high compression multimedia archiver, but they're not necessarily the fastest. The compression will be lossless. If you want to reduce the size via the bitrate, and thus the quality, I recommend this program. MP3 Quality Modifier makes it really easy to change the bitrate of your MP3 music collection so that the file size can be dramatically reduced. With this advantage, it's possible to put more music on your MP3 player, or just to save some disk space. Even advanced tasks are possible, downsampling, changing the use channels and so on. With the included presets, it's simpler than ever before to manage all those settings. Best of all is that, unlike other software, the ID3 tags, title, album pictures, etc., will be completely retained without any effort. Main features. All programs are freeware and portable. And if you want to learn more about audio ripping and MP3, here's a very comprehensive tutorial. Rodified Guide to Ripping CD Audio and MP3 Encoding.
SoundSlimmer can losslessly compress MP3 files by 15 to 20%. The software, though not free, can be obtained as a 14 days trial from here. I have tested this software personally and it works. Another open source alternative which I found is PackMP3. It can losslessly compress MP3 files by about 30%. It can be found here. The main program is a command line tool. GUI versions of the tool also exists and can also be found in the above link.
If you want to support the channel, please consider liking and subscribing.